Iqbal Rana Sahib, respected ulama, shayukh, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thanks to Rana Sahib for inviting me here, MC of the program, to give a little bit outline as to why we have embarked on this particular venture. It is not something that we just one morning woke up and decided to do. It was something that for many months, maybe close to 1 year, we've been thinking that perhaps the only basis or only foundation for our faith that we need to project is knowledge. Because if we project knowledge and if we give knowledge and the acquiring of knowledge and the propagation of knowledge the due importance and the due paramount importance in Islam that it deserves, then everything else, inshallah, will fall into place. You know, my brothers and sisters, people of Ahl Sunnah, that we normally call Sunni Muslims in the traditional sense, have been under attack for a number of decades in our recent history. Most of the matured people might probably remember a time when these attacks were not present, but in the past 20 years, 25, 30 years, as far as I remember being in my 50s now, I remember growing up in England when we were questioned, always been, in the 80s, the 70s and 80s and 90s over here. Regular Muslims, their belief and practices were and are constantly being questioned. Anything we do, it's being questioned. Well, why are you, for example, why do you have to follow an imam of fiqh, for example? Why do you have to follow a madhab? Very typical question that are being posed by people who believe they have a right faith. I mean, they have a right to ask us that question. But the counter to that is that while they have a right to ask those questions, we also need to be able to answer those questions, because if we are not able to answer those questions, now scholars can answer those questions, no doubt, but we as lay people, for example, why do we need to follow an imam of fiqh? Where is the rationale? Where is the behind, such a principle? Where does it come from? Is it from Quran? Is it from Sunnah? Is it from someone who said it, 200 years after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What is the basis, for example? If, for example, also we're asked, well, why do you people show so much love towards our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Not that we don't do that, but what I'm saying is, where is the basis, where is the foundation, where is the proof for these kinds of beliefs and these kinds of practices? And obviously, my brothers and sisters, we all know the proof is there. It's just that we who are normal Muslims, simple Muslims, all we are concerned about at most times is just to pray our daily prayers and give zakat and go to Hajj and these things and fast in the month of Ramadan and do some nawafil ibadah. This is our primary concern as normal Muslims, but we are constantly being asked by our friends in school, our relatives, among us, especially young, well, why do you people do this? Why do you show so much love for the Prophet? And of course, our young people are not able to answer these questions. So the masajids that 7, 8, 9 Sunni masajids and other places, to be honest, are addressing these issues within their own confines, within their own institutions, and to some extent they are, enabling our young kids and our young people, male and female, to answer these questions. But the development of that kind of program isn't something which happens on a constant basis and on a regular basis enough, so that by the time a youngster finishes high school and passes through the process of going to that masjid, whether he learns Quran from that masjid and then matures in that jama'ah or that community, by the time that young student goes to university, does he have the necessary wherewithal or the knowledge, the basic knowledge of defending his Aqida, his belief? And this is the question we're here to answer today. And there may be some, these are probably the exception to the rule, but the majority of our kids who enter university, who are from traditional Sunni families, do not have the knowledge. This is a reality. 90% of them do not, who go into university, 10% of them do. We have to admit that, and they're the ones who, alhamdulillah, are ahead of the pack. But unfortunately, 90% of them do not have the ability to defend their faith when they go to university. And consequently, what happens in university is that whatever happens in university, and we know we have a pretty good idea, the kind of environment that's in university, very antagonistic towards the Sunni belief and principles. You know, time and time again, we see our kids coming home and then questioning, well, why do we do this? Why do we do that? And eventually what happens to that youngster is that by the time they graduate, they become a professional, young professional, they're away from their Sunni faith, unfortunately. This is a reality we are in. If we like it or not, we have to face this reality, my brothers and sisters. We have to wake up and understand this is what is happening in thousands and thousands of families across Canada. Traditional people have come from our countries, wherever we come from, who have parents and grandparents who are shuyukhs, who are ulamas. We're losing these kids to corrupted ideologies. So this is why we have basically, this is the thought process behind why we've embarked on this this project, the ILM-UN-NUR series of lectures, and we will, inshallah, continue to sponsor these programs, and we will, inshallah, do whatever we can to try to bridge that gap between what we are today and what our kids, give them the ammunition they need, so by the time they finish university, they are confident in the Sunni Aqida, that they can then perhaps go and convert people who are wavering, who are questioning. They can say, no, you don't need to question it, here's the dalil, here's the proof. I'm telling you, I can introduce it to people in the books and whatever resources, so that person can then go and be, an arm and a leg for the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And this is the role, inshallah, that CCS would like to play, and inshallah we hope that and pray that our objectives, which is a long-term one, it's not a short-term objective, that will be reached, inshallah, and we will need everyone's help and support to realize this objective, inshallah, and we pray that everyone can support us, and inshallah can make dua for us that we're successful in this long-term venture, inshallah. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه ونور عرشه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.